This is day 3 of me wearing the same outfit. You're gonna see me a 3/4, a quarter zip short sleeve, and a red hat for probably the rest of the week.
I think you got to wear it all the way until it's too cold to wear it.
Until golf's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So middle of December.
I do like that sweatshirt that you got though.
Hey, thank you.
Did you spend as much on merch as you thought you would?
More.
I think if it would have been less of a shit show, I would have bought more.
Really?
It was like Black Friday shopping in there.
It was pretty chaotic.
Did we start?
We started. Everybody, the phantom voice is Myles, the YouBetcha guy. Welcome to the podcast.
It would have been nice to know if you would have told me that this was starting.
Cold open. Put you on the spot immediately.
Well, I was on my phone. Like, it made it look like I was disinterested in what's going on.
Hey, you know what's not cold? Brio fireplaces.
Wow.
You like
what
that?
What a great segue.
The warmest fireplace. They're literally burn hotter than any other fire pit on the market.
And you can cook steaks on them. You can cook hot grease missiles.
You mean the only thing we ate all weekend were just beef?
We had enough hot dogs this last weekend to last me for next summer as well.
Yeah, we're good on glizzies for the year.
Surprised I didn't have a gout flare up.
Booze and meat. The 2 factors into gout.
And
yeah, red meat too.
Red meat.
Cook them on. Get your gout from the Brio. Best place to cook your meat.
Yeah, go check out the X Series. X Series, a lot of airflow underneath. Really eliminates that smoke. That's Brio's biggest selling point is smokeless fire pits.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. The Brio concept hurts my brain.
It doesn't make sense.
If like magnets don't make sense, the Brio doesn't make sense. It's damn near witchcraft in my mind.
The smoke has to go somewhere, or it just has to evaporate.
It can't just disintegrate in mid thin air.
It's one of those things that you can't spend too much time thinking about, or like you said, your brain will hurt. They said it's because of the airflow. So I believe
the process.
Yeah,
I believe trust the process. Guys, so if you want to head over to brio.co, breo.co, go check out the smokeless fire pits. Perfect time of the year for it, although it is 90 degrees in town today.
Is it? I haven't been outside once.
It's hot, but cooler weather is coming, so go check them out, brio.co.
They piped that the wrong way.
I'll call the clubhouse. We'll book another 18 for tomorrow.
Okay, they cheated on that. They fluffed their balls.
Yeah, no better time for the breakfast ball than now.
Breakfast ball.
Our fits, boys.
No, I think I deserve a proper intro on this goddamn podcast.
We did. Myles,
no,
YouBetcha guy. Welcome
you didn't. That was terrible. I think I deserve a good intro. Ryan, will you take it away?
You guys, please? Welcome back to episode 52 of the, I almost said YouBetcha Radio podcast.
You went back into your old Ryan days.
This is the double bogey show with the one and only Myles, the YouBetcha guy. First time on the podcast, right?
Officially. He snuck on for an episode once.
It's actually like amazing that we brought him on today after we got waxed yesterday on the course.
It's true.
I wasn't gonna bring it up right away, but since you brought it up, Ryan, I absolutely waxed you guys.
Yeah,
true.
Yesterday in golf. We got to in golf. For a second there, it just sounds like I was just waxing.
Yeah, dude,
he waxed my back.
They are hairless. They are ready to go for a nice swim.
Yep.
No, I waxed you guys in golf.
Well, I wanted to bring it up.
Good.
I brought it up right away just to get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what I did.
I brought the scorecard from that said waxing.
Did I not wax you as bad as I think?
You waxed me pretty bad, but I think the headline was buried, Ryan. I beat you.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Oh my God.
Didn't you guys have a bet about this?
No, it wasn't the official match.
Yeah, it's not the official match.
But it is building up hype. Now it's proven it can be done.
Yeah, Tyler, you were definitely better than Ryan yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was... I wanted to quit really bad yesterday. I've never actually felt like that before, and
I honestly was hoping a little bit that you would quit.
Well,
we had a plane to catch, and I was worried that for how many shots Ryan was taking, that we were going to miss our flight.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I wanted to quit bad, but I've also told myself I'll never quit a golf round till the day I die. I just won't. I'm just going to keep playing. I'm going to keep shooting 7s and 8s and 9s.
Due to you playing bad, you're saying you would never quit?
Shanks
or
again,
just
man.
in general?
Shanks came back, and it was literally every shot, except on the green.
That's a tough one.
I have not figured out how to shank a putt yet, but give me some time. I might
You
get
were
there.
hitting them short though. not that I was keeping track in my head.
On the positive though, hitting a lot of fairways off the tee box. Maybe I wasn't driving at 300. It was maybe 220 to 250, but hitting fairways.
250 is generous. On
You
some of
literally
those.
tickled other fairways with your slice.
Yeah.
And then still found a way to get in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, little tickle action.
Ryan, you gave me 60 days. I could have you fixed. I could fix you in 60 days.
Deal.
Myles, the golf coach.
Yeah,
I'll do anything.
I don't know anything about golf coaching, but I think if I watch enough YouTube videos, I could do it.
You could probably find some pretty good coaching videos on Breakfast Ball on all social media platforms.
Plus,
Not from you.
I'd take you. First of all, first thing I'd do is I'd take you right to Jared's mom, our resident therapist. We'd get inside your head. We'd figure out what we need to fix inside there. Because I literally think 99% of this is all in between your ears.
100%. And I feel like actually laying down on like a therapy couch.
A leather Davenport.
Yeah, like
right?
a lounger
Yeah.
kind of. That would feel really good, and I could just get it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, you were started good though. So something happened in your brain halfway through there. Wheels really came off, but the Green Bay Country Club was beautiful.
Yes. They also have beautiful hats, which I'm sporting currently.
Yes. So I will do an audio visual for the listeners.
And for the people watching on Facebook, I will hand model it, Cody, if you will.
So basically it is a white hat, and at first glance it looks like it's just got a bunch of dots on it. Maybe looks like a cow or a Dalmatian, but then you zoom in and it actually is small pictures of cows, and the tail that is straight up in the air is actually the 18th green pin.
Holy shit.
Wow, this camera is
a great
really
camera.
clear.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So it's a pretty cool hat. It's got a bunch of stuff on there. What the lady told us was the story behind it is the Green Bay Country Club used to be a dairy farm.
Correct.
And then it became a golf course. And so that was one of the original logos that it had. And everyone on their 25th anniversary or something.
Something like that. Some
I feel
important.
like it's been around longer
important
than
date.
that. Yeah. They brought this hat out. And so, yeah.
But also the owner of said dairy farm is a member of the board at the Green Bay Country Club.
Still is.
Just
Yes. Yeah.
I would like to make a pitch to them if they're listening. Go back to this logo. Add GBCC under it. Go back to this logo.
Go back to the logo.
I would also like to give you some advice, Tyler. You were wearing that hat backwards when we walked in here. So make sure we don't do that.
Yeah.
It's a country club hat.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan got in trouble. It just goes to show that the Breakfast Ball boys just don't even know what it's like to be at the club. As I would know.
Public course golfers.
Public course pros.
Yes.
I was so embarrassed to bring my guys to the club and have him get yelled at by the marshal to turn his hat around. And he's wearing a backwards hat again today.
And that's just who I am. I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not, unless it's the rules to not wear it backwards. Then I'll put it
Did
forwards.
you ever put it backwards agads after we got away from
No, I would have been
No.
mad at him. Don't disrespect my club.
I think that's probably why I started playing bad, was because
You had to
the
put
hat
your
was
hat
forwards.
forward?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
not used to that.
Can you go no lid at a country club?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Absolutely.
golfers at the Ryder Cup had no lid. If
True.
they tell you got to wear a hat,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, let me revert back.
Yes.
One big shout out for the country club. The Bev Cart girl was on top of her game.
She was.
Every other hole, she was there.
Yeah, and I was kind of bummed we didn't give her the business that we normally would have, but it was a long weekend.
And we did have a flight to catch. So
Correct.
it would have been tough getting through security, pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I would have been annoyed at you guys.
Again, the same thing. It's like I wasn't drinking on the golf course. That's why I played.
You know
bad.
what sucks about playing yesterday is I was hitting some drives that were pretty. I spanked them, one would say.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even be happy about it because Ryan was riding the car with me and he was playing so bad and so mad that I couldn't even like celebrate the fact that I just hit 2 drives in a row, 310.
Was the vibe off?
I wish you would have celebrated though. That probably would have broke me out of that
No,
mood.
it would only make you more mad. Is it madder or more mad?
I think it's more mad.
I think it's madder.
I think it's matter. MADD.
Because you're the maddest guy I know. You're not the most mad. I don't know.
Mad Eye Moody.
More maddest.
I think let's just go with angry.
Yeah.
You were angrier.
You would have been.
I was angry. Yeah, I was very angry.
Is it more angry or angrier?
At myself.
It's angrier.
It's angrier. Okay.
Yeah. It is. It's a little uncomfortable sometimes.
God, it just sucks having so much success when all your friends suck.
I missed 2 really good birdie putts though.
Yeah.
I had 2 good birdie opportunities.
You also almost made some that you had no business making.
Right. I putted well.
We saw something. We saw something at the Green Bay Country Club that we've never seen before. And that was a stand next to the green with a leaf blower to blow the leaves out of your ball's way. Never seen that before in my life.
You can literally just create your own line.
It's perfect. It reminded me of seeing those TikToks of sand greens where you have to roll a path to the hole. It's like
sure.
that, except you got to blow the leaves out of the way.
But hey, be careful because in that video, my
Your
ball
ball did
moved
move.
a little bit. I should have just kept going.
Should have.
Just
That's
kept
nature.
going with
It's
it.
wind.
Birdie putt.
Yeah, great thing to do. I've never thought about the fact that usually when you come to a green and there's kind of fall time, there's a lot of leaves that fall off the trees. You just gotta deal with it.
You just got to power the putt through the leaves.
Not at the GBCC.
No.
They have a electric leaf blower right there ready for you to use.
Yeah, great hospitality, great fairways, great everything. Honestly, it was a good experience. I had the time of my life.
Okay, that made me want to punch my own face.
We'll be back. Trust me, we'll be back.
Sometimes when Ryan's mad golfing, I get a little scared to talk to him.
I know, that's why I said I couldn't even be like, I just hit 2 drives in a row, 310 yards.
I just get a little.
Did you hear what?
You look like you look like you were
Did you
about
hear
to
what
say
I
something.
said? I hit 2 drives in a row, 310. If you guys didn't hear me the first 3 times I said that,
We heard you.
so
We
You
heard
probably
you.
hit more than that, but just some of them were in the woods.
yeah, that's true.
310 in the woods. Still
There was a
counts, though.
couple holes that I could have done much better on if I'd have just really known the course.
I think you shot a 90. I shot a 101, and Ryan was 115.
Oh, Jesus.
Ryan was more than that. There was a couple holes where
You only shot a 101?
Yep.
I find that hard to believe because
wanna
you were
look-
also keeping score
You
too.
want to look at the scorecard?
I mean, the scorecard can say 101, but you were also keeping score. So
I don't want to say anything outlandish, but I question your guys' score quite a bit.
In general,
when I
There
play
was
with
one
you
time
guys.
Miles even
Every
tried to
time.
give me a gimme, and I didn't take it. I put it on the scorecard without the gimme.
Yeah, there are also a couple multiple greens that you 3 or 4 putted,
Yeah, I know. Those are the worst ones.
and you still shot 101.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I shot
about
a
that.
I shot
what did you shoot, Ryan? If Tyler was shooting good, then
Well,
what
we've
was
already
your
talked
score?
about that. This is out of the way for me. Now we're talking Tyler.
Yeah. We're on me now, Cody.
Yes.
Here at the program.
I'm just trying to picture right now how the whole day went together.
We went together, decently well.
Here's the thing. Had we just went to Green Bay to play the Green Bay Country Club and not done everything else outside of that, wow. I may have never golfed. I may never golf again in my life. But, we had the highlight of going to the Ryder Cup, stayed in a great place, good hospitality. Everything was awesome.
Are we kind of working our way backwards now? We started with what we did last. Are we going to go to the Ryder Cup and then finish with...
Yeah, I was going to bring a Ryder Cup up earlier, but I don't know how you guys roll on this podcast.
We
If,
don't.
you
We
got
just go.
segments or...
We don't.
We don't. It's just golf cart talk, basically.
Yeah.
We'll work on that.
This is why we don't bring
We
him
need
on.
a golf coach, not a podcast coach.
All right, you want a golf coach? Here's the big thing. When you're golfing bad, just golf better.
Fuck, why didn't we
Damn.
think of that?
That resonates really well.
No, I actually think so this is not me giving advice to other people, but something that I like to do when I'm golfing that when I like have hit a couple bad shots is I play a game in my own head of like when I'm like lining up to the ball and as I'm bringing it back and coming through, I only try and focus on only the ball. Like how focused can I be on the ball on the ground? And usually my shot goes pretty well because I'm not thinking about like, oh, did I bring my thing back the right way? Did I come through correctly? How hard should I swing? All I'm thinking about is just that white ball on the ground of just like how lasered in focus can I be on it?
Essentially,
it goes pretty well.
Be the ball.
Just be the ball, see the ball, eat the ball, lick the ball.
And hit the ball as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah, and then
search for the ball.
Hit absolute bombs down the fairway.
Yeah.
Lose the ball. Drop a new ball. Think about that ball.
Yes. You don't always have to have the same ball on the course. But yeah, I don't know.
So let's circle back to the Ryder Cup. That's what we went to Wisconsin for, right? And I think just to get this out there, rule number 1, unless you are an absolute hardo and you're traveling from a long ways away, you don't need to get there at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Or 1 a.m.
Or 1 a.m. for that matter. We had a story about a guy showed up at 1:30 and was like begging the bus driver for a ride, even though he didn't start for a couple hours later. Great guy. Gave him a ride to the course. Probably got front row seats. Probably was electric. But from where we were, we showed up at like anywhere between 10 and noon both days.
Yep.
And great spots. Can see everything. And you're right in the middle of the USA chance.
Yeah, like I don't think we missed anything from where we were, did we?
No.
Like if we missed something, it was because we came later, not because we were in the wrong spots.
Correct. Is there anything you guys would have done different going to your first golf tournament?
Yes. What we did the second day, we found a spot and stayed there instead of trying to go to every single spot. That was tough because it was like you're jumping up and down, trying to see overheads and looking through shoulders and stuff.
Yeah.
But when we found and camped out, that was sweet.
What?
Myles?
Go ahead. Oh, okay. I would have bought more expensive tickets.
Got
so I could have a reserve seat or something like that. People know this about me. I'm not a big, I'm going to walk around guy. Lots of chafing, lots of, your back hurts, your knees hurt, your ankles hurt.
I think you said it night one. The dogs were barking.
My dogs were barking. And obviously that's because I'm out of shape. I know that. But I still am not a fan of walking, even if I am in shape. So I would definitely, if you got to spend, let's say you're going between a ticket that's $250 a day versus $450 a day. I don't know. I maybe would have spent the extra $200 a day to have like a reserve spot on a hole where you could watch everyone come through.
Yeah.
Spot to sit, designated areas. If you go get some drinks, you're not going to lose your spot or something like that.
Well, I think $200 is worth the 7 miles less that you'd have to walk.
Yeah.
I believe we logged 7.5 miles the first day.
On just day one.
Yeah.
I think they could have. It seemed to me that they put all of like the merch tent and like where you actually sign, like get your ticket scanned and stuff, way too far away from the action.
It was at least a quarter of a mile away from hole one.
So, and how they could have done that differently is right next to the like old school clubhouse behind hole one. Mm-hmm. Around that was just like media RVs and all that kind of shit to where they could have flip-flopped both of those, put the media in the back and then the merch and all that kind of stuff like around the driving range and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I think that would have been way better.
Media's got to be there early as hell anyway. So they can make the extra 10 minutes.
I love how we're like, there's for sure experts who plan this out.
Oh yeah, for years.
But
100%.
they are wrong.
They are.
We are right. I would say to sum up my experience with the Ryder Cup, I would say it felt like a very almost Olympic atmosphere of like a whole country and multiple countries competing against each other. Felt to me a little bit like that, like it almost could have just been at the Olympics.
Yeah.
I would say there was hundreds of thousands of people there, but it didn't necessarily feel like that because a golf course is so spread out. The Ryder Cup is cool, I think, because like there's gimmies and stuff that they have in it, which like feels more like us golfing.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more of like a relatability to it. I like that there's a little bit more chirping going on. The crowd's more into it. Yelling stuff is more acceptable.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that then also like golf's just such an individual sport. It's like so hard to like get on board with just one golfer. You know what I mean? Like Tiger Woods was easy to root for back in the day. And now like Phil Mickelson, and then you got the Brooks Koepka and the Bryson DeChambeau type of thing. But like when it's all of those guys are on the same team and you're cheering for the same one, it's just like a little extra fun watching, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing a 4-man scramble versus just going out and playing as a solo. Like it's 100 times better.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is just because I was there, but I have never cared more about professional golf in my entire life than the Ryder Cup.
Correct, because you're cheering for a team which is made up of a bunch of individuals versus just one person, which is hard to pick.
Yeah, and I think the team atmosphere needs to be more common in golf.
I agree with that. Let's start a team golf league.
Yeah. Like
actually, you know what? Let's just make our own golf course. That's what I actually took away from it. Is like how sick would it be to design your own golf course, but design it so that like events are like much cooler at it.
I agree.
Because like it doesn't matter distance from holes when regular guys are golfing. They're just on a cart.
Yes.
So cater it to events. That's one thing. Can you imagine what Whistling Straits is like without the stands? I feel like it's weird. Super spread apart, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
I heard that you can't even. They don't have golf carts at Whistling Straits. You actually have to.
You walk the whole thing.
You have to walk. Yep.
Well, you get a caddy.
Wow.
Yeah, caddy.
That's
$50 tip.
I suppose it keeps the course a lot nicer.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm out on Whistling Straits.
Unless your caddy wants to carry you instead of your bag.
Now that we've been there and we're just like we're Whistling Straits guys. You can't pronounce it Whistling Straits. It's just Whistling Straits.
Whistling.
If you've been there, talk to the locals.
Been there.
It's just Whistling Straits.
Yeah, if you're a regular whistling. One other thing. Okay, keep pointing out the weekend was fucking awesome. But I wish there would have been a little bit more like nightlife entertainment. Sheboygan is,
yeah.
They met at the tournament. I was like, what else do you need?
Oh, no, I'm talking about outside the tournament. Like bigger city tournament, you obviously have many places to go. But Sheboygan, like you can go to the gas station and get like a chuck wagon and a Red Bull and then be like, yeah, sweet night, dudes.
I was on the bus shuttle back to the parking lot. I was sitting with some guy from Ireland who went to the one in Minneapolis. And he said that was almost just as much fun as being actually at the Ryder Cup was all of downtown Minneapolis partying about the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
Just like having that giant group of people all pumped about the golf, all ready to get really drunk was almost just as much fun as the actual event. So I agree. I think that's a portion that was missing.
Could you imagine after Sunday when they broke the record, going to a bar and having everyone just getting bombed and then everyone starts chanting USA and all that stuff? Like
goosebumps.
Unity.
That'll be a blast.
Favorite moment of the weekend though was when I believe it was Justin Thomas
and Xander
came out of the tunnel on hole number 1.
Yep, Daniel Berger.
Was it? Okay.
They came out of the grandstand on hole number 1. We're on the tee box, amping up the crowd. He was doing pointing at each section of the crowd, and they would go USA. Was the loudest it was the whole time. Then all of a sudden, the crowd, I think they started throwing out beers.
No, so the crowd started chanting "Chug a beer."
No, before he was throwing out
the players
beers.
were throwing out beers.
Yes.
Yep.
So he was throwing out beers, a great atmosphere, and then the crowd starts chanting "Chug a beer." Chug a beer, and sure enough, you've seen the videos online.
Well, right away, Justin didn't have a beer, so he's like, sorry, and then the crowd threw him a beer back.
Yes, so he took that beer, and they ended up one shotgun, one just chugged it. Hey, I will have to say this though, we should have told our boy at the Green Bay Country Club, Justin Thomas turned his hat backwards when he was drinking.
That's true.
And he was on Whistling Straits.
He was in the
on TV. He had his hat backwards.
And he's a Ryder Cup champion.
He is.
So had I been chugging a beer as I got told to put my hat forwards, might have been a different story.
I think he went 4-0 too. Dustin went 5-0 in his matches, but Justin didn't play the second round on Saturday. And I think he went 4-0.
How good would that feel just to win your first round and be like, yeah, we got guys going off for the second round. We're just going to let you rest for the day. And then, you're chilling.
No, and then they go and get fucked up with the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see Justin tweet this morning or on Monday morning? He's got that Whoop whatever recovery thing, and it tells you how well recovered you are in the morning.
Yeah.
And he was at 5% after partying so much on Sunday night.
That's awesome.
Oh, yesterday, you mean?
Yeah.
Like your physical health.
Yeah, you're at 5% recovered. It tells you how much, like how you're feeling the next morning, like if you drink enough water the night before and shit.
Dang.
What your heart rate's at.
Yeah.
How much sleep you got. All that stuff weighs into it. And he was 5% recovered.
Yeah, and he tweeted out from the app, and he's like, I gave it all for the U.S. last night, boys.
That is electric.
I think that golf is entering a new era of being more relatable and being more fun, because otherwise people just aren't going to be interested if it's like this stuffy gentleman, we don't wear backwards hats, this and that. If it just continues to be that, I think I like that there is some of that in there, a courtesy, respect the sport type of thing. Like how the crowd can be just absolutely booing and yelling stuff at them when they're taking their practice swings on the tee. But as soon as they line up for the shot, it's just dead silence. Like, I like that part of it.
Yeah.
Let's keep that going.
Well, and I like too that the Americans were chirping the Europeans the whole tournament, but once it was too far in and we had already won, like there's no chance the Europeans were going to win, then the respect level came back.
Yeah.
They didn't continue to like rub it in their face.
Yeah. One thing I really enjoyed was like this tournament brought out the full personalities of these guys, which you don't get to see on other major tournaments just playing as a solo. So like Bryson is hyping the crowd up before he drives. Like I think one time he stepped off the ball and he's like telling everyone to like get up and like get up, let's go. And then he drives the green on number one. Like what more could you ask for in an event?
Right. And there's that instance with his 3-wood. He had his driver out and there was like a drivable green. He puts his driver back in the bag and the crowd started booing Bryson.
Yeah.
And then he looked at the crowd and he's holding his 3-wood in his hand. He's like, don't worry, I'm still going for the green.
Yeah.
He just had to club down because he didn't want to overshoot it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Ryan, your point, like seeing the personalities, was there anybody at the tournament that like you maybe were medium on beforehand, but now is like moved up in your rankings or is like your guy now?
All of Team USA.
They were pretty electric. Like
Dustin Johnson being the oldest guy, the vet on that team. You got young guys like Morikawa, Jordan Spieth, all those. I don't know. There's a personality that I've been waiting to see out of all these guys, like online or at other tournaments. Just not the right place for it, but this was the perfect moment for it.
I would say actually not on Team USA was Ian Poulter.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know. He was a ball of energy. He was like, he hit the pin on number 10 where we were standing right behind him when he did it. And he was jacked up.
Yeah.
Like slapping his caddy's ass and just all jacked up. I'm like, yeah, that's my kind of golf right there.
Yep.
Michael Jordan got interviewed after the Ryder Cup and he talked about Poulter. He said, every time Poulter made a big putt, he would stare at Michael.
No shit.
That is so ballsy. I love that. Couldn't be a bigger Ian Poulter guy now. One thing about Bryson that I thought he'd be bigger.
Same.
Yeah.
On TV, he looks like pretty beefed up.
Jacked.
And he like almost like you're like, this guy's tall. He's one of the shortest guys on Team USA.
Well, that was one thing that surprised me on the flip end is there's a lot of tiny golfers. Like Rory's little as shit. Fleetwood is tiny.
Yeah.
It's both Spieth and Justin
Morikawa.
Thomas, who I still cannot tell apart.
Phil, you guys are just naming every single person out there.
No,
Pretty much every like
Shane Lowry's a big boy.
Shane Lowry's a big boy. Brooks is like normal sized.
Yeah.
He's probably your size.
Yeah, Tony Finau is like 6'5".
Yeah.
What was the I saw you guys had a video of a bev cart literally at the Ryder Cup. Like, do they have a bev cart literally just driving
Couple
around?
of them.
No, they weren't driving. They were stationary in certain spots.
Oh,
but I
okay.
also figured out that those girls running that stand they're the bev cart girls for Whistling Straits.
Interesting.
So when they ran out, they would just drive the cart back, get more beer, then go park again until it was all gone.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Which is sweet.
it worked out.
That makes sense.
God, what was I gonna say? Son of a buck.
Oh, we got Burned to smile at us.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
So one thing is, I picked up early on that people in the crowd were talking about that when Phil Mickelson walks by a crowd of people and they start cheering and yelling at him, he does a patented move where he's walking, he's holding his wife's hand, and with the other hand, he just does like a slight lifts his arm up and just shoots a thumbs up to the crowd. But it's not just like one big one. He'll like walk, he'll go like this, look at the crowd, take 5 more steps, do another one, to the point where the crowd started counting how many times he did a thumbs up. And within like 100-yard stretch, he did, what was it, Ryan? 15 thumbs up to the crowd.
Well, then he gave one like he was like pumping the thumbs up. So
1,
like
2, 3.
13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah. So if you're at a tournament and you see Phil there, just start counting how many thumbs up he gives to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's a patented Phil Mickelson thumbs up.
He's got to realize that he's doing that because people notice it, correct?
No, I feel like it's just like a habit of his. Like,
Sure.
He's like, I want to acknowledge the crowd, but if I like give them too much attention, then they'll like run with it. So
Yeah,
I just
never
got to
let him
give
go.
him a little bit of a slight acknowledgement that I hear him.
Yeah.
it is his thing though, because I remember when he won the tour,
The U.S. Open.
the U.S. Open, he was like big, or there was all these signs that said like big thumbs up or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's his thing. He's known for that.
Yeah.
I like that. One other cool part too, when we were last day, Sunday, we're on hole 15 and all the entourages were walking right by us. I mean, those guys they're logging miles. They're walking 18 with the players. And they, you get to see all the wives and girlfriends go by and they were all in the same outfits with the names on the back.
We missed Paulina though, guys. We didn't see her. I searched far and wide, didn't find her.
That sucks.
Sorry to bring it down.
So you were telling me you thought,
Hey,
you
we talked about it last week, and I just needed to update the crowd.
Tyler missed about 90% of the shots because he was looking for Paulina the whole time.
Yeah,
You thought you found her?
I'm making this all up. I didn't see any golf. I was just looking for Paulina the entire time.
Yeah, Tyler's like, yeah, right. Ryder Cup. Loved it. Saw a bunch of cool shots. The whole time he's just looking for her.
Yeah, there was one moment where Tyler sacrificed himself. He went and got beers for us, and
For like an hour.
45 to an hour later.
Yeah, Tyler comes back with a fucking big gulp of a lemonade vodka.
3 of them.
And apparently there was 8 shots damn near, I swear to God, of vodka in this thing.
You said you wanted doubles.
Yeah, so literally he got doubles. So there was 4 shots in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Ryan and Tyler just down these guys.
Suck those babies
We were
down.
dead sober. After that, we were all buzzing. We're like, this is great. We're
Yeah.
having a great time.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like I waited so long in line that when I finally got to the beer tent, I wanted to make it worth it. So I got 3 of those doubles and then 3 beers too. And I couldn't carry it all. And it was an 8-year-old kid running the fucking beer stand. And his mom was there swiping cards. And literally for a basketball charity. And so I was like, kid, I can't carry all this. Can you help me out? And he gives me an empty beer box. So I carried all of it through the crowd to get back to Ryan and Myles with this beer box, trying not to spill.
And I swear that stand was pouring vodka shots like that one infomercial when she's like 2 shots of vodka and just goes go 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 go. I swear to God, that's how it was going.
They went down pretty easy though.
Those lemonade vodkas went down easy.
Hey,
Yeah.
lucky I didn't miss a single thing though because I had Ryder Cup radio in my ear.
Yeah, old man Tyler over here.
That did come up clutch a couple times because you hear a roar from 3 holes over and you're like, what's going on right now? And Tyler, you had the insight on it. Was 2 days enough for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. Even after day 1, I think just because we played it wrong, it was like...
I am glad though that we did one long day.
I
I
agree.
felt like I got my money's worth on Saturday When we did a little bit shorter, I was kind of like, at the end, I was like, I like that for my whatever, but getting my money's worth, I felt like I could have been there a little longer.
I think that if we would have had designated seats, 3 days would have been an option,
I think that if we had had a golf cart,
Yeah.
we would have been what? Can you imagine if everyone got a golf cart?
Just so many accidents.
There's
everywhere.
people getting run over, people launching them off of hills that they don't know are coming up, like you're driving and you just think it's like another little dip and all of a sudden it's a whole cliff. It would have been so dangerous.
Jesus, bumper cars.
Yeah, there's one weird thing too about it was like there was a whole set of 18 holes that weren't being used and they kind of became like standing room only. So we were watching holes while standing in sand traps
Yeah.
from other holes.
Well, even on the holes that were there.
Yeah. Well, they are better golfers than us, obviously. So that the fairway was, or the playable area was narrowed.
If Ryan would have been playing in the Ryder Cup on Saturday and Sunday and played like he did on Monday, he would have murdered 18 pedestrians.
Yeah. Yeah. There would have we would need
dead
like
on the spot.
like plexiglass up 20 feet high.
You would have had to sign
higher
so
than
many
that.
gloves and just give them to the people.
I'd have been out of golf balls. I'd have been out of golf
You would have
gloves.
literally just been naked at the end because you had to sign so much of your clothing because you hit so many people.
Yeah. Here's the caddy uniform. Here's my third glove. Just take my clubs.
Honestly, I was begging to get hit by a golf ball.
Is that the deal? Like what you get hit and then you get some free merch?
Typically, so I don't
Usually
know.
it's the glove.
Yeah, I don't know if it's commonplace for everybody, but I saw this in a little tiny mini doc about Phil that when he hits people, he signs his glove, gives them the glove.
And also gives them $100 bill.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's like a little, slips it inside the glove and gives it to him.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, don't fucking tell anyone about this.
Yeah, just paying people off. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe
So
it.
that'd have been nice. I mean, that would have covered 1/16 of how much all the booze costs if he slipped me $100 bill. But that's another thing. We need to start can we make booze and food at PGA events affordable again?
Yeah, the drinks that I was telling you about, Cody, the lemonades and the 3 beers.
Yeah.
6 drinks total. Granted, they were doubles. Guess the tab on that.
I'm going to say they were like $16 a piece. 18 bucks a piece.
The total bill for those 6 drinks was $130.
Over
Yikes.
$20 a piece.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. It's just like Vegas if you're not gambling.
That's okay. Full circle here. You betcha. Midwest, right? That's why part of why I love the Midwest. You go to a bar, you're going to get $3 beers, $2 beers once in a while.
Yep.
And
2
it's
for ones.
2 for ones, whatever. Like no price gouging on booze.
Right.
You can go to any bar in Fargo, wherever else in the Midwest, unless it's a giant city like Chicago or Minneapolis or Milwaukee or whatever. Everywhere else, though, such affordable booze. It's a great time to be alive. You can tie on a buzz for $40 and you're feeling good.
100%. Any town outside of the major metro area is reasonable.
In college, I used to go to BioLife, and that was my bar money for the week.
Same.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I would have
$70.
extra. Yeah.
I think it's in part, obviously there's reasons why they do that. I wish they wouldn't, but if you're selling $5-6 beers at an event, people are going to be absolutely annihilated.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
But also the money, even if you're charging $10 a drink, it'll probably shy people away a little bit. And
I'm not asking for $3 beers. I'm asking for even double it. $6, $7, $8 beers. I'll pay $8.
Right.
I'd pay $12 and still you're
But
saving.
saving $4 a
plus?
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That 20 plus, that's a ripoff.
Now it's probably for the doubles, but
No, just a cocktail in general is $20 minimum.
Unreal.
Jesus.
Unreal.
Hey, you can tell that these guys didn't pay for shit this weekend.
They didn't know the prices.
Yeah, Tyler went and got drinks one time, and his head was in a pickle about how much it costs. And he doesn't even get to see the final bill for the weekend.
Well,
so
that's why I was
would
wondering.
like to say that you're welcome, you guys.
Thanks, Myles.
No, I really do appreciate
Yes.
Thanks for letting me win yesterday. Made me feel better about spending that money.
it. We didn't even pay for tickets. So that was sweet too.
That is
That was not my doing. So
Yeah, overall, I would go back. Would I go to Ireland? Absolutely.
That's Rome. Rome. Let's go to Rome next time.
Rome. Yeah, it's in Rome, Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be electric.
Now the question is would I spend all that money to go to Rome to go to the Ryder Cup again now that I've been there?
Correct.
In a year? I don't know if I'd do it next year.
Yeah.
Beers are probably cheaper because of the exchange rate, though.
Or more
Might be onto
expensive. We don't know.
You can't afford not to go.
I know the PGA is listening to this podcast very closely. So here's your little tidbit. Just send us to Rome. We'll talk about it again in a year.
We'll talk about it. We'll work the details
I'll
out.
definitely go when it's, well, not definitely. We'll see. But I definitely would be interested in going to it when it's back in the U.S. soil. And then maybe when it's in Ireland after that, that would be fun to go to.
Yeah, I think Ireland would be more funner or more fun
I think
than Italy.
I'm more of a Ryder Cup guy than I haven't been to the Waste Management Open, but it's almost like the Waste Management though is getting a little bit too big for its bridges of like, oh, everyone says it's like the biggest party of all time
Yeah.
or whatever. Whereas like Ryder Cup was like pretty good party.
It was
I
like
agree.
the perfect amount of party. Nobody was doing anything stupid,
Yeah.
but they were all having fun.
It was like adult partying. Whereas like Waste Management seems like it's college partying.
Yeah.
Yep,
Right.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that
In my
makes
mind.
I just don't think I would be, partying aside, I don't think I would be able to enjoy the individual golf as much as I enjoyed the team golf.
Team golf was fun.
Because like every time a person came in front of us on one of these holes, I cared about it more because it was for the team. Like it mattered to the team score. Where if
I
like,
also think the match play, there needs to just be more match play in golf in general because it keeps people in it for so much longer. Now, the shitty part is they do end it at like hole 15, 16,
Yeah.
17 early. But it's like also not like a terrible thing if like golf doesn't last 7 hours instead it lasts
Right.
5. It's not the end of the world.
so this is what they need to do. They need
agree.
to add games for holes 16, 17, and 18. We've got longest drive and closest to the pin and another random game for the final 3 holes. So they play those 3 out regardless.
Yeah, I mean, longest drive right now is going to be no question.
Yeah.
Do you
if he
think-
hits it straight on that hole, though.
Do
Yeah,
you
but even
think-
if he hits it shank, it's still
It's got to be fairway to be eligible for longest drive.
okay.
Do you think if those other guys swung as hard as they could match Bryson DeChambeau's drive?
Not a
no,
chance.
not if he on his
They're
hardest swing.
True.
Their body just doesn't have the infrastructure that his does.
The
That-
only
very
He
true.
tore his body down and built it back up.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Kind of like Rome, you know,
Yeah.
tore it
Yeah.
down, built
Bryson
it back up.
wasn't built in a day.
That's true.
He's going to start saying that. I think the only person I saw even come close to driving it as far as he did was Victor Hovland.
Okay.
He hit some fucking
I don't know
bombs.
who that is.
He was on the European team.
I don't know.
He
who that
played
is.
with
He played
Morikawa
in
on
the
the
Ryder
last
If you
day.
lined up a bunch of people and you put him in that lineup, I couldn't pick him out.
Really?
I don't know. What's his name?
Victor Hovland. He's from Norway.
I'm so sorry, Victor.
Sounds like a Russia guy.
Victor.
Victor.
Sorry, Victor, but
First gambling bet I ever made on Victor.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Full circle.
What,
All right.
how was Burned in person? I know you said you
Big.
got him to
He's
smile
one
at
of the
you.
ones that he was
He's big.
bigger than I expected.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of pictured him to be a little guy, honestly.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's big. We got a smile out of him. The whole
Interesting.
tournament was made after that.
Did you ask him why he's ghosting us in the DMs?
We did tag him again. He probably didn't look at him, so we'll try
I
again.
don't know what his deal
We'll
is.
try again in
Unreal.
Italy.
He's
you
playing
know?
hard to get.
Yeah.
are you guys trying to get a date with him and you just are getting nowhere?
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
I would just like to have a beer with him.
How long until you guys just give up?
I'm never.
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 The
giving up?
longer he ghosts us, the more I'm going to try to get him to respond.
It's like on The Office when Kelly's like saying that he doesn't want me only makes me want him harder. It's
Yeah.
like you guys.
Yeah,
That is
you're not
exactly
wrong.
what's
We're
happening.
making strides though. We got him to smile at us.
Because we're probably the only one that like chirped him in a good way.
Yeah.
The whole entire tournament.
Probably. Because I guarantee you most of the Americans there didn't know who he was.
No,
Unless
absolutely
they
not.
listened to the podcast.
Correct.
True. Very true.
All right. Any parting words with the Ryder Cup? Had a great time. Would you go back?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Minneapolis 2029, I believe.
Mhm.
A little bit closer.
Hazeltine.
Tyler, is that it for the Ryder Cup recap?
that is it for the Ryder Cup recap. If we are working our way backwards in time, we have one more thing to talk about. Let's take a quick little break. We'll get back. Just kidding about that break. We're back and closing the podcast out. Myles was upset that we didn't ask him any questions.
I was so confused. Literally earlier in the podcast, I was like, you guys don't take breaks or anything. And you're like, no. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Tyler panics and just says we have a break coming.
I knew you had to pee.
Oh, thanks.
See, that was my one question. I didn't have to ask it verbally. I could just tell if you needed to pee. So I put a break in.
Thank you very much.
So our one and only question for you, Myles, is did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the podcast and the Ryder Cup?
I had a medium time on the podcast. Like I said, could have been more welcomed, could have been more, more appreciative of everything that I've given you guys for how many times that I wanted to axe this podcast and let you guys just still exist. That would have been a nice thing of maybe just even a thank you of some sort. Just anything like that would have been nice. What was your second part?
Oh, the Ryder Cup.
Oh, the Ryder Cup was great. I don't know. It feels good to I haven't been to a sporting event in a while, so it felt good to get back doing that. Great weather, and I don't know. The vibes are just good at the Ryder Cup. So,
all right.
Any more questions you'd like us to ask?
What gives you the right?
What gives you the right?
Who do you think you are?
Do you want to thank me now? I would.
You don't like that stuff though. You don't like when we.
Just saying. I could have.
He likes making us uncomfortable though.
I could have chopped this page in this podcast many times.
That has nothing to do with you being on the podcast.
When you guys had 0 downloads and 0 listeners.
And now we're the second biggest podcast in the YouBetcha Radio Network.
I know.
I will formally thank you myself, but you know who owes you a bigger thank you?
Who?
The millions of listeners to this podcast.
Oh,
they would like to thank you for letting it continue.
I had literally, breakfast ball was on the chopping block. My hand was up in the air, ready to downswing on the neck of this podcast and this page. And I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I looked these two in the eyes and I said, I just don't know if I can do it. There might be something here. There might still be life left in this page.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing it for a year.
I know.
You gotta let it breathe a little bit.
And here we are today. Finally, a guest
Ryder
on this
Cup
podcast.
This is your first time on this podcast?
Second time. He snuck on during Rusty Featherstone's interview.
Count.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
We asked him questions.
I know exactly what
we should have. Well, if we would have had you on a Zoom call, then we would ask you questions. But you're here in
next
the flesh.
time I'm not walking up here for this.
No, you can stay in your office.
I'm sitting in my office. You can zoom me in.
Well, Myles, I would personally like to thank you for everything that you did for me this last weekend. Putting me up with a place to sleep, buying all the booze, all the groceries, coordinating rides, allowing us to continue with this page. And also golfing with us yesterday. I had a really good time. Even though I played bad, it was still fun to get out with both of you. And it wouldn't have been as good of a time if you weren't there. So I really do appreciate it. And I hope to have you on this podcast again in the near future.
Suck up.
See? See? He made it.
Suck up.
He made us do that just so he could say that.
It's the one thing he doesn't like sappy shit, but he likes making us feel uncomfortable.
I know.
Oh, what a fucking suck up.
Let's just make him uncomfortable. Myles, thank you for not only being our boss, but thank you for being our friend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends.
Nice.
Thank you
Tyler.
for paying us to be your friend.
All right. Time to close up the podcast. Guys, thanks again for listening in. Remember all the breakfast ball, YouBetcha golf merch, youbetcha.com. Go check it out. Fall golf is here. One of the best times of the year. So go snag up a hat, a polo, whatever you can find on the site. And we'll see you guys next week.
Love you.
Bye.
Hell, that's a breakfast ball.